First tonight, climbing and reaching the summit of even one mountain is something to be proud of. But one woman from Maine decided to do that and then some, and recently completed what is known as the New Hampshire Grid. It entails climbing all 48 of the Granite State's 4,000 footers in the White Mountains in each calendar month. And the project is so complicated, it comes with a spreadsheet.
If there's a mountain to climb, chances are Stephanie Dragoon has already reached the top.
It's like 0.3 from here up to the top.
Okay, you're the expert. I'm gonna follow you.
Stephanie and her siblings seem to always find themselves hiking through the woods of Maine together.
What did you love about it? Like, what made you want to keep coming back for more?
Because it rained a lot, so I'm not sure what I loved about it at that age. I remember the rain so much as a kid, but I think it was that I was the youngest kid, and my siblings were going, and my dad was going, and if I didn't go, I was gonna be left home. Yeah. So I always wanted to go with them.
But it's the hikes with her dad that stick out the most, especially finishing the Appalachian Trail together.
I would finish my finals, and we'd rent a car, and we'd drive south till we hit where we last finished, and we did it over a span of 4 years. We learned that we were a little bit different hiking paces, because he's twice my age at that age. So I became Pace and he became Chase, and that's what we were called on the trail, as Pace and Chase. And we did all 2,176 miles together from Georgia to Maine. Him and I have a connection that is not like anybody else in my family. We can look at a piece of a trail or a tree and say, that reminds us of this moment and this memory. So it's just this different, deeper connection that we found. Sometimes we didn't have to talk when we're in the woods, and we were like, you feel that? And we're like, yeah, I feel that same thing. Yeah.
It's a passion Stephanie has carried with her entire life, a love that only got stronger during the COVID-19 pandemic.
I worked on the front line as a ICU ER nurse right here in Maine, and one of my days off, I was like, I need to escape the people, what the world is dealing with, and I found going to the mountains was a lot easier. So I'd go to the mountains, hike all day, and go home, and go back to work and do it again. So through COVID, this became my outlet.
An outlet that would lead her to her biggest project yet, the New Hampshire Grid. To complete it, hikers must climb all 48 4,000 footers in the White Mountain each calendar month. That's a total of 576 peaks.
I hiked in the winter, I hiked in the rain, I hiked in all different seasons to get every peak I needed in every single month. And what surprises me is I'm from Maine. I travel a long ways. The closest mountain to my house is 2 hours. The furthest mountain away is 3.5 hours. Wow. So I spend a lot of time in the car. I listen to a lot of books on tape, but I plan my days around, I can hike 4 peaks, 5 peaks, and then I can travel all the way home and go back to work.
Stephanie thought it would take her 10 years to complete the grid. Instead, she finished it in 3.
I was quiet about it at first until I realized I was like 60% done this project, and I was like, oh, okay, I can do this actually. Like, it actually all made sense. The numbers made sense, the logistics made sense, and I was like, I have a plan now, and I'm doing it. Throughout it, I've got my family to hike a little bit. I've enjoyed more of my finding girlfriends to hike with out in the mountains. Most of the people I hike with are not from Maine. I've met them on trail and connected and shared this moments in the woods with them, and now we're friendships.
See, that's crazy, because I feel like people are going to be like, wait, you're not supposed to talk to strangers in the woods.
I know.
But they end up being
because you just ask, like, what are you doing today? Oh, I'm going to the same peak. Oh, and then you like meet them again at the top, and you're like, oh, what's next, or what are you working on? And you find you're like, oh, well, I'm working the same project. Like, oh, I have next Tuesday off too. Oh, well, we want to do it together. So it's just like, it kind of evolves, and then you realize like you're actually compatible in the woods, and we can all struggle together to get to a summit. It's way more enjoyable.
When you're struggling with other people.
Yes.
Obviously. And I want to point out too, because we talked about this, this hike is so complicated that it comes with a spreadsheet.
A spreadsheet, yes. A spreadsheet. So you have your list of peaks on one side and your months across the top. It takes a lot of organizing, and the spreadsheet at first was really like overwhelming. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna finish this. And then it just progressed. It was very doable.
Stephanie officially completed the New Hampshire Grid on August 27th, 2022. She's already working towards her next goal, completing the New England 67 peaks.
So now we're adding in Maine and Vermont into the projects that I've already done. So you're taking 67 peaks now, and you're going to times it by 12 months for a total of 804. That means summit and Mount Katahdin in every single month.
Do you think you're nuts?
Yes. I do sometimes. I'm like, I'll be driving to a trailhead and be like, it's 2 in the morning. Why am I driving? But it's all worth it. When you summit a mountain for the first sunlight, or you see someone else's face that's never seen the sunrise, you remember why you traveled in the middle of the night, and you don't remember, like, you're just like, oh, that was fine now. It's all good. Like, I'm here in the moment and the sun is rising, and no one else is on the summit in these weird hours, and I don't know, you forget the hard stuff when you see what you've accomplished and the beauty of what is out there.
And those views are so beautiful. Stephanie, by the way, is the 129th person to ever complete the New Hampshire Grid. We can't wait to see how quickly she reaches her next goal.